Well, this hurts. Andrey Santos sold to Man United for 50 million M's. In this market, where we're seeing players like Adam Ward's and been being given the price for 100 M's and up. Tonali going for 100 M's. Bruno Guimaraes most likely gonna go for 100 M's. I heard he just asked Newcastle for a move out of Arsenal. Elliot Anderson close to the Premier League record for 130 mil. This is the price we have to pay for the drop in our levels. When you look at the type of depth he was going to be for what should have been the creation of the best midfield in the world, right? It just shows you how bad this project has fallen over the past couple of years. He was touted as the best midfielder of his draft class. Now, obviously, coming into the Prem, the best league in the world, he's not going to look as good. Definitely not going to look as good. He's not going to look the sharpest when it comes to his pressing, his upkeep of possession, beating the press. But his line-breaking passes was definitely what I believe his strong suit. And something you could see he was probably going to build his game around. This is a player that in 2-3 years, if you ask me, he's going to bloom into $100 million euro pound player, especially in this market. Without a doubt. He's gonna, in my opinion, turn into a starter at Man United. If not, you could come back to this video and say you were wrong. But I definitely believe he's one of those players with a high ceiling, a very high ceiling. It's just to be a young player playing in the Premier League, not every player is like a Esteval. You gotta remember, Esteval was seen as a generation, like he was seen in the same light as Neymar coming up through Brazil. They gave the kid the nickname Messinho, bro, for a reason. There's multiple articles on how this kid could win Brazil the World Cup one day. He's not a him and Andrey Santos was never seen in the same light. Yes, Andrey Santos was seen as a gem, but Esteval being able to come here and just get it going just like that and show he has what it takes to be the best player in the world from day one at Chelsea, as we could see in glimpses and specific plays like that one Barcelona play. That showed you he has what it takes against one of the better teams in the world to get the job done. Now, Andrey Santos. I generally thought all we had to do was just keep this core. I don't get why Santos has to get sold before people who are less reliable like Lavia, like a Garnacho, Tolson, Chalobah. Like these are players that are supposed to be hitting the door before Andrey Santos, in my opinion, just based off of what they've given us last season. But we can't even sell them for a proper fee because we're not in Champions League football, so that's less leverage for us. They've had horrible seasons, so not a lot of clubs want to buy them. For Lavia, he can't stay fit for he's never played a full 90 minutes for Chelsea in the 3 years he's been here. Think about how crazy that is. He's played, I believe, a total of 12 or 9 to 12 games, 9 to 11 games. These are the things that are highest on the total poll in terms of the Warriors right now. We have Asugo in the midfield. Barco just came in. We don't even know how Barco is going to look in the Premier League. We don't know how Asugo is going to look in the Premier League. We know how Andrey Santos looks in the Premier League. But again, we can't sell these players because why? No one's going to want to buy them. And we'll probably want to sell them for a profit. So it's like what I've been trying to warn in some of my lives when I spoke on some of these watch alongs. Make sure you guys tune into the watch alongs. But shout out to my boy Taewon. Taewon was telling me, like, I have a fear that we're gonna turn into a selling club. I told him I don't think so, but if this continues, like if we continue, finishing outside of Europe and not winning any trophies, it's gonna happen. Because we don't have a stadium that's gonna pull in the money we need to keep this club above water. And as you can see, that chapter's starting to open. If we don't get a stadium, which is, in my opinion, right now that shouldn't even be the priority. The priority should be getting a squad that gets us to compete for trophies every year in and year out. Then you focus on the stadium in the background. You go build a new stadium somewhere else, which is going to probably take like 4 or 5 years. Chelsea's in a very dark place right now, bro. I'm going to be very honest. We're in a very dark place right now. And if we think just Xavi Alonso can save us, you're wrong. Everyone needs to come together and put their best foot forward. Genuinely. Recruitment has to be top tier. The team building has to be top tier. And it's just hard to back all of this when you see what's going on behind the scenes with Kinetic, with the stubbornness of our past board directors, the stubbornness of people like Ekbale, Boli. They just really want to do everything their way. I thought they were turning a leaf when I saw that we were in for buying Xhaka because, yes, I know Xhaka, he's not much of a needle mover, but it shows that, okay, they're willing to compromise to win. In terms of, every player now doesn't need to be a super, super young player. What we need to do is get the right pieces. Not just exemplary pieces that show, oh, guys, we're listening to what you're saying. No, get the right pieces. Bruno Guimaraes is a player that I would love to have in this midfield if Andrey Santos is going out. Reliable dog. He's a real dog. He's experienced. In that midfield, he takes us up a level. A higher level than Enzo Fernandez, believe it or not. I'd be perfectly fine with Enzo Fernandez now leaving for like a couple $100 million. Like $100 million, 120, 130. Now that Bruno is here. I'd be perfectly happy with that. But he's going to our rivals. Our biggest rivals. Arsenal Football Club. Why? Because they are winning things. They just won their goal that they've been striving for in the last 5 years. So now players, when they come knocking on the doors and asking for teams' best players, guess what? They can actually take teams' best players. They can snatch chains now. I'm only okay with Andrey Santos leaving if we're gonna upgrade on him. If we're not gonna upgrade on him, if Barco is supposed to be Andrey Santos' replacement, fuck out of here, man. Fuck out of here, man. This is ridiculous. On one hand, I would say that move that I did see outside of this move that I'm talking here, I think this is a really bad move. I think this is one of the worst moves of the market. I seen that Jesse Derry is going to Sporting on a loan. That's actually a smart move. Get him some Champions League football. Get him into a league where he can progress his game to a higher level. It's still going to be competitive. That's actually a really good move instead of just moving him to France. We're going to see how Jesse Derry progresses. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Andrey Santos to Man United. Not a big fan of this move. Hopefully we upgrade.